Okay, briefly on dinosaurs, what the Bible has to say about dinosaurs. They were created the same day as man, day 6, Genesis 1:24 to 25. Man is given dominion over them, Genesis 1:26 to 31. They would have been plant eating at the beginning and under man's dominion. They lived clearly, therefore, at the same time as mankind. The fall affected them as it affected the whole of creation. They would have become animals that would attack each other and attack other animals, fearsome, powerful. Dinosaurs went onto the ark at the time of the flood. Noah is told, take two of every type, male and female, birds and land creatures. Genesis 6:19 to 20, Genesis 7:13 to 16, they came to him. When it comes to dinosaurs like Brontosaurus, Brachiosaurus, Stegosaurus, Tyrannosaurus, they would have been baby examples, clearly, that would have been necessary. After the flood, Genesis 8:16 to 19, they're let out onto the earth. Well, what happened to them? Basically, the climate post-flood was very different to pre-flood. It seems at the point of creation, Genesis 1, verses 6 to 8, God separates the waters above from the waters below. The waters below become the seas, the waters above the skies. It seems there's some sort of a vapor canopy around the earth. Now, this would have the effect of scattering UV light equally around the globe. There would have been a warm climate, the whole globe over. It would have been warm. UV would have been filtered out almost completely. So the climate, the environment would have been very healthy for life. Because of this, you find today there's oil and coal at the Antarctic. Clearly forests used to grow there, which fits in exactly with the Bible's account. Men lived to great ages. UV didn't affect our cells as dramatically as they do today. Adam lived to be 930. Methuselah was 969. Notice what happens at the point of the flood. The fountains of the deep are broken up, water comes up, and the canopy above collapses, and it rains for 40 days and 40 nights, and the floods cover the earth, or even over the highest of the mountains. The water canopy above collapses. Now, the climate, therefore, is very different post-flood. That UV filtering protection of the water has gone. We still have the ozone layer, of course, that helps. It becomes much colder. Winters come in. The poles, north and south, freeze over. Dinosaurs, being these mighty, large, cold-blooded animals, find it very hard to adapt. And eventually, of course, they do die out. There are no dinosaurs today. They don't adjust, they don't cope. Man's lifespan falls dramatically. If you make a plot of lifespans after the flood, they collapse from 900 and odd down to, at the time of Abraham, he lives to be 160. And eventually we get to David, he lives to be around about 70. Because of the UV, because of the harsh climate, the lifespan of man collapses. Do we find dinosaurs described in the Bible? Well, yes. Now, interestingly, the book of Job, when was that written? Not long after the flood. If you look at the account of Job, after his trials, after the death of his 10 children and his trials, he lives for a further 140 years. Clearly, Job is written not long after the flood, when dinosaurs were still around. And in Job chapter 40 and verse 15 to the end of the chapter, in the next 9 verses there's an animal called behemoth described. I'd suggest that's a brontosaurus, one of the sauropods. And then, fascinating, Job chapter 40 Leviathan is mentioned, and his description from verse 12 to the end is a shocking one, and it seems to be at least something like a T-Rex. He's described as breathing fire as well, a class of animal that breathes fire. This is where we get the dragon. We call them legends now, but there were fire-breathing animals, it seems. Not very far-fetched at all, the dragons, but clearly these are dinosaurs being described. So, the Bible has things to say about dinosaurs. It actually describes at least two of them. They went on the ark. They didn't survive after the flood. And I'm sure there's lots of evidence to show that they lived at the same time as mankind. And my research assistant will be looking into this particular aspect. What evidence is there that dinosaurs did live at the same time as mankind?